So we've been doing a ton of paint projects at Eastwood. We got sick of running out paint booths, so we decided to buy a blow-up one. Now, today's video, we're going to talk about some of the things we like about it, some of the things we wish we could change, and overall, do we think it's worth it? So let's check it out. All right, so number one thing that I really do like about this is the overall dimensions of the whole booth. We got one that was about 26 feet long, about 11 feet high, 15 feet wide. It can fit most cars. We're not gonna be able to fit like a crew cab dually in here, but we fit a Mustang project, Cobra project, and Datsun project in here. Had plenty of room, wasn't an issue. You can buy them in different sizes. This one worked for us. Overall, this thing was about $2,000 for everything. We'll show you some of the add-ons we got, but off the bat, price and size, I liked both of them. All right, so the first thing that I kind of like about this and kind of don't like is this back man area. So come back here. So this is actually for like a little paint mixing room. You can see it's not that big. Adam can get the camera down. The fresh air actually comes in right down here. So there's a fan on the other side pushing fresh air into here. It's nice to have fresh air and nice circulation, but if you're mixing paint back there, if you have any dust, it's kind of just throwing it around that room. And we have a whole entire studio out here where I can mix paint. The studio's pretty clean. I don't have to worry about, when I open that front door, I don't really have to worry about a lot of dirt coming into the booth. So to me, this is just kind of wasted space. For some of you guys at home, it might be a benefit. Filters. In a blow-up paint booth, you're not gonna have downdraft system. There's gonna be some stuff in the air when you're painting. We'll show you what happens later when you forget to replace your filters in this thing. But given that this is a $2,000 paint booth, the filtration system isn't actually that bad. This is number one, this is the inlet side. So there's a cover on the back you take off, you'll get some fresh air in. Over here, on the other side of this, there's an entire elephant trunk system with a fan that's sucking stuff out. We'll show you that in a second. We have just replaceable filters in here. The number one thing you need to remember if you get one of these booths is replace this filter frequently. We were painting our Cobra project in here. It was a long day. It was a lot of coats of paint. We never replaced the filter. By the time we got to clear coat, you couldn't actually see to the back of the booth. It made it really hard for the painter. There was some imperfections because of it. So if there's one thing that I can tell you that you really should do when you get a paint booth like this, buy a bunch of extra filters. All right, so this is the elephant trunk system I was talking about. This is like a metal structure. Inside of it is another filter, so it looks much like the filters you get at your house for your HVAC unit. So there's two steps of filtration. It goes down into this fan. We actually bought a more expensive, more explosion-proof, little better quality fan. It works really well for evacuating all the particulates in the air and making for a better result. So if you don't buy one of these, just expect that you're gonna have a ton of overspray in the air and it's gonna cause issues for you when you're actually painting. All right, the most crucial part about this whole system is the fans to keep them up. So this one right here, this is the one that's actually inflating the entire structure. If that goes out, you're screwed. So make sure this is plugged in at all times. Make sure it's not gonna turn off during your paint process, because if you have a car in there and it gets turned off, you're screwed. It hasn't happened to us yet, but it's always a risk. This second fan is your fresh air fan. You need this on to make sure you have proper circulation in there. If you have it off, it's just gonna make the entire experience a lot worse. Definitely two very important things. There's not much to say about these things. They came with the kit, seem pretty good so far. All right, so my absolute least favorite thing about this booth is that the top is solid plastic sheeting, no lights getting through. So the inside of this thing is extremely dark if you are setting this up inside a studio like we are. If you're gonna be doing this outside, I think it's a lot better. Brian from Paint Society, he's the one who recommended this thing. He actually set his up outside. There was a whole lot more light. It worked a lot better for him. When we paint in here, we actually set up 6 LEDs with 6500 daylight bulbs. If you're gonna be painting in there, make sure you get some extra lights. You're gonna need them. Without it, it's gonna be really hard to see. A couple other things you should keep in mind when you're buying a booth like this. Number one, there is gonna be dirt inside the booth. So we'll show you when Ryan's done painting here, but you're gonna actually be able to go to all the rails, the crossbars up top. You're gonna put your hand up there. Because of the circulation, because it's not like a high quality downdraft booth, a whole bunch of overspray ends up kind of sticking to the top there. It got in a couple of our paint jobs. Just know that if you're painting in an inflatable paint booth, you're not gonna get absolutely perfect results in your paint and your clear. With the Dotson project, we got dirt in there. We were able to go back. We did some paint correction. Everything looked great when we were done. Just might take you a little extra elbow grease. All right, so overall, I give this thing like a 7 out of 10. Easy to set up, easy to use. If you do end up painting more than one car, this thing is gonna pay for itself in no time. When it comes to buying one of these things, Eastwood doesn't sell them. I wanted to give you guys an unbiased review to figure out, if you're a DIYer at home, how to get a paint job done without having to go rent out a really expensive paint booth. If you are gonna buy one of these, make sure you check out the laws and rules and regulations of where you live. It's gonna vary county by county, state by state. So before you blow one of these up, put it in your front yard, make sure you check what you can do. If you guys need any more information on paint supplies, paint guides, head over to eastwood.com.